All right, and stuff I like.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk a little bit. I've been catching up on movies. This is a really interesting turning point in the movie business. Hollywood has had one of the worst summers ever, one of the worst Labor Days ever. They didn't even release a new film on Labor Day. So many of their franchises, talking about the movie business, because there's still TV is really doing well, streaming is really doing well, Netflix has become a titan, but they've been living off franchises and sequels and Alien, Transformers, Cars, Smurfs, Resident Evil, Underworld, Wimpy Kid, Xander. I mean, these are all bombed. Xander Cage, Nutjob, Independence Day, Ice Age, Ninja Turtles, Divergent, Huntsman, Alice in Wonderland, Inferno, The Da Vinci Code, and the Jack Reacher franchise. They all tanked, every one of them. And there's really nothing in the pipeline. There's nothing coming in with new things. I mean, even the Pirates of the Caribbean didn't do that well. Kong, I saw Kong, what's it called? Kong Skull Island, which I really enjoyed. Jonathan Hay told me not to see it, so I missed it in the theater. I've been taking it out of him all week because I really enjoyed it. It's an old-fashioned H. Rider Haggard type adventure. John Goodman plays the scientist who's looking for a monster, and he piggybacks on a military expedition into a lost island. And they come into this lost island, and of course they find King Kong, and Samuel Jackson is leading the military expedition. And here's a scene where he goes up to John Goodman and says, "What's going on?"
You are going to tell me everything I don't know, or I'm going to blow your head off.
Monsters exist. Yesterday I was a crackpot. But today?
You dropped those charges to flush something out.
Who are you? Ancient species owned this earth long before mankind, and if we keep our heads buried in the sand, they will take it back. My agency is known as Monarch. We specialize in the hunt for massive unidentified terrestrial organisms.
You knew that thing was out here?
I'm sorry for your men, Colonel. I truly am. Get us home with proof so we can send the cavalry.
The funny thing, what ruins this picture? I mean, it's really a good movie. It's very enjoyable. It's got a good cast. Tom Hiddleston, who should be the new James Bond. Brie Larson, who's adorable. It's got some good plot twists. It's got great monster fights, really entertaining. You know what keeps it from being a great movie? Feminism. I swear, feminism has ruined more movies, almost as many movies as it's ruined lives. Brie Larson plays the girl. That's her character. That's why you have a girl in these things, because men are better at killing monsters. They're better at shooting things. They're better at running through jungles, screaming and throwing, grenades. And the people who want to see that movie are largely men. Brie Larson is the girl. One of the things that you want from the girl is you want her to get rescued. But because they can't do a girl who needs to get rescued, she doesn't have to be fearful. She can be brave, but she's got to be a little bit more, she's got to be a girl. She's got to be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more vulnerable. Then the hero can save her. Without that, the hero has nothing to do. And Tom Hiddleston goes through this picture. He has a look on his face like, you gave me a great setup scene, so I'm a cool character, and now I'm doing nothing. And Brie Larson's character doesn't make any sense. And the whole Kong mythology is that Kong basically represents raw masculinity being tamed by the eternal feminine. It was beauty killed the beast. That's the last line of the original King Kong. And they try to get that scene in here, but what is she? She's just a guy with a nice shape, basically. She's like a cute-looking guy because she does the same thing as everything else. Feminism murders these movies because it takes away what stories are about. Stories are about men and women. Other movies I saw King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, which got the worst reviews ever, but actually is not that bad. It's a Guy Ritchie film, and Guy Ritchie makes all those smart-talking mob British gangster movies, so he brought that aura to the King Arthur myth. It's a lot of mythology. I found after like about 20 minutes, I was like, I can't remember who's the good guy and who's the bad. I remember I'm rooting for King Arthur, but that's it. Jude Law is good. He's always good. Jude Law is one of the great actors of the age. But here's just a quick scene that the black legs are the soldiers, and they're hunting for a fugitive, and they come to King Arthur, who is not now a king. He's basically an errand boy boy running a whorehouse. And so this is a scene from a Guy Ritchie film cast back into King Arthur days.
What's going on?
What's going on where?
You've got some heat on you, Arthur. Your name keeps coming up.
In what circles?
My mum's sewing circle. I'm a blackleg sergeant, stupid. What circles do you think? Now tell me a story about a girl called Lucy, a Viking called Greybeard, and some rebel graffiti dirty in these walls.
Are you writing a book?
Tell me. Every detail.
We had a quiet word with a couple of Vikings.
Get back! I said from the beginning, the very beginning.
I woke up.
Then?
Well, then I got dressed, I went downstairs, I saw the girls. Lucy was missing.
Where's Lucy? She's a good girl.
A nice girl.
She works here.
Then?
Then, me and the lads took care of a bit of business. Bit of housekeeping.
Everything as it should be.
That's the spoil from the boats.
Then?
Then we heard
George had trouble again last night.
I mean, we out the front.
Which George? King George, Angry George, George the Dragon? Be clear, Arthur, which George?
Our George. Chinese George. Kung Fu George.
Kung Fu George is a character in this story, so it doesn't make any sense, but it is fun, and scenes like that are great. It's basically a Guy Ritchie gangster film moved to Arthur age. Finally, I watched Alien Covenant, which is fine. You know, the whole point of these sequels is you liked watching a monster rip his way out of a guy's chest in the original, we'll do it again. And that's basically what happens. I don't really care about the mythology. It's just a bunch of, it's a bunch of scenes that are reminiscent of the old one, kind of pumped up with the new special effects, pumped up with money. It's fine. It's fine. But